The United Auto Workers Union endorsed President Biden. UAW President Shawn Fain made the announcement yesterday at the union's conference in Washington. Fain praised Biden for his record on unions and joining the picket line last year. He also railed against Donald Trump for not supporting the UAW.
In 2019, our members were out there holding the line at GM on a national strike for 40 days. Trump was the sitting president. He said nothing. He did nothing, not a damn thing, because he doesn't care about the American worker. Now, here's what Trump did to help the American auto worker in our 2023 historic stand-up strike now that he's running for president. He went to a non-union plant, invited by the boss, and trashed our union. Here is what Joe Biden did during our stand-up strike. He heard the call, and he stood up, and he showed up. He joined us in solidarity on the picket line for the first time in our nation's history. A sitting president has ever done that. And this choice is clear. Joe Biden bet on the American worker while Donald Trump blamed the American worker. We need to know who's going to sit in the most powerful seat in the world and help us win as a united working class. So if our endorsements must be earned, Joe Biden has earned it.
I'll tell you what, Willie, Mr. Fain's tough there. You know what I like? I like for us to have a Morning Joe, like, special. Get Shawn Fain there. And, baby, we need Sean O'Brien on set. I need that guy on set, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Come on.
All right.
Come on. Any senator threatens him, they regret it. They
Take
regret
it outside.
But you know, it's tough. I mean, think about that. Think about how that cuts through. And we remember when it was happening, go, wait a second. He's not going to a union shop. Trump, he was trying to play. You know, are people really that dumb? I'm so glad that union members in Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania are hearing this, because it's true. Joe Biden was the first president in history to stand with striking workers. It's pretty remarkable.
That is what we call a full-throated endorsement from the UAW. That was not some paper statement if you watched that event yesterday. Yeah, it was robust. Mike Barnicle, and obviously that's a big deal. I mean, in the state of Michigan, obviously, where there are a lot of auto workers, Wisconsin, you can move around the Midwest. But to have an endorsement that wasn't just sort of, yeah, we like this guy. No, this guy literally stood with us on the picket line when we won rights for each other. In a state that could be decided by a few thousand votes, when you're talking about Michigan, that's a big deal.
It's a big deal on a couple of different levels, Willie. It's a big deal, obviously, because of the endorsement, but also the way it was framed up by the president of the United Auto Workers. And Jonathan, I don't know about you, but Sean O'Brien, who Joe just alluded to, head of the Teamsters, originally head of Local 25 in Charlestown, Massachusetts.
Come on.
He is cut from the same cloth. He is cut from the same cloth as Shawn Fain. I mean, he's not, you don't have to figure out, well, what does he mean by this? When he and Shawn Fain both tell their constituencies, their workers, American workers, that this guy who you're thinking of voting for, Donald Trump, this guy who maybe you voted for in 2016 and maybe in 2020, this guy is a faker, and he's after your health plan, he's after your family's level of affluence, he is not for you.
Yeah, the White House desperately wanted this endorsement. It was never really in doubt, certainly a significant political win. Look, Fain has said privately he knows that some of his members are going to vote for Donald Trump, those white working class voters that Trump has made such a backbone of his coalition. But this is going to matter. To have the clip we played earlier when he called Donald Trump a scab, like that's going to resonate. Yeah. That is going to break through. This President Biden has fancied himself, Joe Mika, as the most pro-labor president perhaps we've ever had, certainly one in decades. And it is all about, to our discussion earlier, Joe, those 3 states, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan. This is going to play well there. And it's not a coincidence that President Biden heading to Wisconsin today. Talk about another issue, infrastructure, that also matters with these exact voters.
Well, I tell you, you're right. White, working-class union voters have voted Republican. A lot of them have broken off and voted Republican for quite some time. I've told this story time and again where a union member told me, hey, kids, shut up. Stop talking about union workers. We're all voting for you. And I was like, yes, sir. But you look at how tough that address is. And you are right. Most of the time when union presidents endorse a candidate, it's like, okay, yeah. In this case, man, Mike, you really did. You felt it. Just like when Sean O'Brien was in the Senate testifying, baby, you felt it. By the way, maybe we can meet up with him at Fenway. I just want to walk around with him. I feel a little bit safer. Exactly. But you felt it. This was real. And I'm not just saying that. And Republicans know this, too. Donald Trump did what union workers would say, did what a scab would do. He lied. He pretended he was going to a union shop. And while he was doing that, and while he was siding with the owners, you had Joe Biden on the line with union workers. So why does this matter? This matters because I really think for the first time in a long time, you're going to see a lot of those union workers who voted against their own interest for cultural reasons, for other reasons, just like, what felt right in their gut. They're going to see this. They're going to remember that Trump, what he did. And they're gonna vote Democratic again. They're gonna come home.
I don't think there's any doubt about that, Joe. I mean, the message that you got from Sean Fain, the message that you would get from a Sean O'Brien from the Teamsters is basically this: he is not for you. He is not for us. He's for himself, and they can prove it. They can prove it by his rhetoric, by his behavior, by his appearances, by what he says, and how he behaves about them. Really, he talks down to them. He talks down to everybody because he's smarter than everybody.
Well, and the thing is also tax cuts for billionaires and multinational corporations. That's what Donald Trump gave in his first term. That's one of the few things that he got passed. It was tax cuts for billionaires and multinational corporations. He bragged about it. He said to his billionaire friends after he passed it in Mar-a-Lago, he goes, I just made you all a lot of money. Mika, he's promising again tax cuts for the rich, tax cuts for billionaires, tax cuts for multinational corporations, and tax increases for working Americans through tariffs.